Hello students, I Mrs. Madhvi Matre welcome you all in the next lecture of Mathematics 1. In the previous lecture we have completed chapter number 3 polynomials. We discussed word problems also and we have completed problem set 3 completely. Okay. Now you can practice that to understand the chapter better. Now we are moving towards the next chapter, that is chapter number 4. So chapter number 4 here is ratio and proportion. Concept of ratio and proportion you have studied in lower standards. Okay. When we think of two quantities and when we compare them by dividing, that means when we write down them in the numerator denominator form and when we convert it to the reduced form or lowest form, that time we say that it's a ratio. It's also called as proportion. The concept of ratio can be extended for 3 or 4 numbers and then we call it as proportion. Okay. Now in this lesson we are going to learn what is ratio again. So we will revise the concept of ratio again. Then we will see properties of ratios and the sums depending upon that. Afterwards we will see various operations on equal ratios and the problems based on that. Then theorem on equal ratios or theorem of equal ratios. Then we will study about the ratio of continued proportion and finally we will learn K method to solve the problems based on ratio and proportion. Okay. So in all these topics we are going to study in this chapter. Again here also some examples are under the reduced syllabus. So as we proceed further I will let you know that which examples are under the reduced syllabus or which particular sums are not there for evaluation. Okay, so let us start now. So once again we will discuss the concept of ratio and proportion. As I have told you in lower standard you have studied about ratio. So let us take one example to understand it. So this is the example. The rava laddu prepared by Vimal are tasty. For this she takes 1 bowl of ghee, 3 bowls of rava and 2 bowls of sugar. Okay. So here the quantity taken by Vimal is given. Now when these quantities we compare with the help of division, it is called as ratio. For example, if we want to compare the quantities of rava and sugar, then what we can write down here is that the proportion of rava and sugar is 3:2. See, 3 bowls of rava and 2 bowls of sugar. So we are writing it in the form of 3:2 or 3 upon 2. Okay, numerator denominator form. That means we are dividing here. So this is called as ratio or it is also called as proportion. Now here if the proportion is given to us and if we know one of the quantity in units, then we can find out the second quantity also. Okay, like take the example here that if 12 units of rava are used, how many units of sugar are required? Okay, so we know the ratio and we know one quantity, that is rava, and then from that we can find out the second quantity, that is sugar. Okay, so for this what we will do is we will assume that let the units of sugar required be x. Now from this ratio we can write it like this. Okay, this information we can represent like this. See the ratio, that is 3 upon 2. That means rava and sugar. Similarly here you will write down in the same sequence. Above in the numerator you will write about rava and down you will write about sugar. So for rava they have provided to us 12 and for sugar we have assumed x. Okay. So here these two ratios are equal. And from this if we cross multiply and then we can get the answer. See 3x is equal to 24 and from that we understand that x is equal to 8. That means the number of bowls of sugar required are what? 8. Okay. So here in this case, if you observe, if now here we have taken x and we wrote like this, but somebody will simply use the logic that here 3 fours are 12, therefore 2 fours are 8, and you can get the answer immediately that here the number of bowls of sugar are 8, because you understood that if one quantity we are multiplying by the same number, then second quantity also we should multiply by the same number. So here what we can say that whenever we have a ratio, then there is always a constant or common multiple is present. This we represent by K, constant. There is some constant always, and that multiple is present both the places. That means if the ratio is 3 upon 2, it doesn't mean that the number of bowls of rava will be always 3 or number of bowls of sugar will be always 2. They can be multiples of these. Okay, so that shows that here we are always having a constant, because ratio we are representing in the reduced form or lowest form. Now as I have said, here we have just compared two quantities, but we can compare three quantities also. Like here if we want to compare three quantities like ghee, rava and sugar, then we will write down the ratio here is 1 is to 3 is to 2, or the proportion is 1 is to 3 is to 2. So the concept of this ratio or proportion, it can be extended to three numbers or more numbers. Okay, so we can compare many numbers here in this way. It is not so that ratio exists only for two numbers or proportion exists only for two numbers. We can extend it for three or more numbers. Okay, so I hope you must have understood the concept of ratio from this. Now let us go ahead. Now we will see types of proportions. So here very first type of proportion is direct proportion. Now this also you have studied in lower standards. I think in 7th standard you have studied direct proportion and inverse proportion. So again, to understand direct proportion, let us take one example. Okay, so here you can see one table, and in this table you have three rows. Here you have petrol in liters, distance in kilometers. So petrol, for petrol we are taking the letter X, and for distance we are taking the letter Y. Okay, now here the distance covered in 1 liter petrol is 10 kilometers. Distance covered in 20 liters petrol is 200 kilometers. And distance covered in 40 liters petrol is 400 kilometers. Or if I say that if a car covers 10 kilometers in 1 liter petrol, and if I ask you how much it will cover in 2 liters of petrol, so immediately you can give the answer 20. Okay, because as the quantity of petrol is doubled, the distance is also going to be doubled. Okay, so here if we try to find out x upon y, that means if we divide x by y, so see here 1 upon 10 as it is written, then 20 upon 200, if you reduce it, 20 ones are 20 and 20 tens are 200, so here also you are getting 1 upon 10. If you reduce 40 upon 400, then also you are getting 1 upon 10. So what we can find here is, in case of direct variation, here the value of x upon k is constant. That means division of these two quantities is always constant. So keep in mind, in direct proportion, the division of two quantities is constant, or their ratio is constant. Okay, so such type of proportion is called as direct proportion or direct variation. Okay, so keep in mind, direct variation or direct proportion means the ratio is constant or the division is constant. Now let's go towards the next type of proportion or variation, that is inverse variation or inverse proportion. Okay, so for inverse proportion also we will take one example here. Now the example taken is about speed, time, and you can say distance. Whenever speed, time is there, you can find distance. You know the formula. Distance is equal to speed into time. So here, now again we have three rows. Here we have vehicle. Then here two types of vehicles are given. One is car and other is bullock cart. And then their speed and time taken, they are compared. So in case of car, the speed is 50 kilometers per hour and time taken is 2 hours, suppose. Okay. And for bullock cart, the speed is very less. You know, bullock cart, it is a simple machine, and you know that it works on the muscular energy of the bullock. So here the speed is quite low. So speed of the bullock cart is 5 kilometers per hour. So the time taken to cover the same distance will be 20 hours. Okay. Now how we calculated this here? Here we will find that here, that when the speed is more, that time, the time taken is less. But if the speed is less, then the time taken is more. That means what? Here, if one quantity is increasing, the second quantity is reduced. But if the first quantity is reducing, then the second quantity increases. In direct proportion, it was exactly different. That means what? If one quantity is increasing, second also was increasing. Then it is called as direct proportion. But here, if one quantity is decreasing, the other one is increasing, that time we say that it's an inverse proportion. And what we can find here is 50 into 2. That means x into y. We are getting 100. Similarly, here 5 into 2. Again x into y, we are getting 100. So in this case, we can say that the product of these two quantities is constant. So in case of direct variation, division is constant. And in case of inverse variation, multiplication is constant, because when one quantity is increasing, the second one is decreasing. So here the product is constant. So such type of variation is called as inverse variation or inverse proportion. Okay. So simply you have to think of the given question and relate it, whether the question is of direct proportion or is of inverse proportion, and then accordingly decide whether the division is constant or the product is constant, and then solve accordingly. Okay. Now let us see some solved examples here. So to understand those solved examples, now here we will first see properties of the ratios. All of you please note down these properties in your notebook. They will help you better. The first property here is of ratio, that the ratio of two numbers A and B is always written as A is to B by using this symbol. You know, it is called as colon, or it is written as A upon B. Here, A is called as predecessor or also called as first term, and B is called as successor or it is called as second term. Okay. So, A is predecessor or first term and B is successor or second term. Then the second property here is, if this second term is 100, in the ratio of two numbers, if the second term is 100, then that ratio is called as percentage. Okay. Percent means per 100. Per 100. Okay. So 100 is in the denominator or 100 is the second term. Then that ratio is called as percentage. Then third property here, the ratio remains unchanged if its terms are multiplied or divided by non-zero number. That means here both the places we can multiply or we can divide by non-zero number. Then the ratio remains same, or the value of the ratio remains same. It is unchanged. Let us see how to write this. So ratio A is to B is same as what AK is to BK. That means we have multiplied both the terms by some constant number, that is K. In case of three numbers also, we can multiply by same number everywhere. That means A is to B is to C is same as AK is to BK is to CK. So the ratio we can multiply or divide by the same non-zero number in both the places or to every term here. Okay. Then the next one, fourth property. The quantities taken in the ratio must be expressed in the same units. That means what? Whenever we want to find ratio of two numbers, they should have same unit. For example, if we want to find ratio of distance, then both the quantities, they should be either in centimeters or they should be either in meters or they should be in kilometers. If one is in kilometers and other is in meters, then we have to convert it and we have to make the units same, then only we can find the ratio. Okay. And the last property here is the ratio of two quantities is unitless. Now these points you will understand better when I will take this example. So try to understand this example here. See, the ratio of 2 kg and 300 grams. See, here the unit is kilograms and here the unit is grams. So we cannot write the ratio as 2 is to 300. Why? Because the units are different. We cannot compare them if the units are different. So we must have the same units. Okay, so here 2 kg, we have to convert to grams. You know that 1000 grams is equal to 1 kg. So this 2 kg we can write as 2000 grams. And then 2300 both are in the same quantities. So we can write down the ratio as 20 is to 3. But here we are not writing grams or kilograms because it is a ratio and ratio is unitless. You cannot write unit to the ratio. Okay. So these all are properties of ratios. As I have said, you write them down in your notebook or you have this same in textbook also. So you can mark it there and you read it again so that you will understand them better. Now let's go towards the solved examples. Okay, so the solved example from the textbook, the very first example is this. The ratio of ages of Seema and Rajeshri is 3 is to 1. The ratio of ages of Rajeshri and Atul is 2 is to 3. Then find the ratio of ages of Seema, Rajeshri and Atul. Okay. So here two different ratios are given. So in the first case, the ages of Seema and Rajeshri are compared and that is 3 is to 1. So write down that ratio first. That Seema's age is to Rajeshri's age is what? 3 is to 1. And in the second ratio, Rajeshri's age and Atul's age is compared. Okay. So here that ratio we can write as 2 is to 3. Now what we can observe is second term of the first ratio is Rajeshri's age and the first term of the second ratio is also Rajeshri's age. Okay. So here if we equate the second term of the first ratio and first term of the second ratio, then we can write down the ratio for all three. So what we can have to understand is that second term of the first ratio should be same as the first term of the second ratio, and for that purpose we have to think of LCM of that, least common multiple. So LCM of 2 and 1 is 2. So we want 2 both the places. Now see here already 2 is present. So not to convert this ratio, but here we need to convert. Here we want 2. Okay. So here if we want 2, then we are multiplying the second term by 2. Just recall the property that if we are multiplying one quantity, we have to multiply second quantity also. Okay, so if we are multiplying here, then we have to multiply here also. So how we can write it like this? See here if we want 2, then here also we have to multiply by 2. Those 3 is to 1 will become 6 is to 2. Now you will find, see, Seema's age upon Rajeshri's age is 6 upon 2. The first ratio is converted. And the second ratio is written as it is. Rajeshri's age to Atul's age is 2 upon 3. What you can observe here is now these two quantities or two terms are same, and then we can compare all these three as this. Okay, that is Seema's age is to Rajasri's age is to Atul's age is 6 is to 2 is to 3. We have to equate these quantities and then we can compare them. Okay, directly you cannot write 3 is to 1 is to 3. Not possible, because here we need to equate it and then only we can compare. Now let's see one more example. So example number 4 I am discussing. The ratio of number of mango trees to chiku trees in an orchard is 2 is to 3. If 5 more trees of each type are planted, the ratio of the trees would be 5 is to 7. Then find the number of mango and chiku trees in the orchard. Okay. So here the ratio of mango trees and chiku trees is given. So always you will start with the statement from the question. So that will be our first statement, that the ratio of the trees or ratio of mango trees to chiku trees is 2 is to 3. So this ratio we can write in numerator and denominator form. And if 5 more trees are planted, then the ratio is going to become what? 5 is to 7. So this is a ratio, as I have said, as we have seen in the property, that here the ratio is always in lowest form, but there is always one common multiple present. And that common multiple we can take as x, you can take as k also, your choice. You can take m also. But generally, you know, in mathematics we are taking x, y, which are common letters. So here it is taken as x. So the number of mango trees will be what? 2x. And number of chiku trees is 3x. Because we have to find out number of mango trees and chiku trees. Okay. So simply you cannot write down ratio and then you cannot use the condition. First of all, you have to take that common multiple, that constant, and then you have to write down these mango trees and chiku trees. So these steps are common, that first you write down the ratio from the question, then you think about some constant multiple, and from that you write down the number of quantities, like number of mango trees here is 2x and number of chiku trees is what? 3x. Now use the condition. What is the condition given? If 5 more trees of each type, means here also we are adding 5 and here also we are adding 5, then the ratio is going to become 5 is to 7. So we can write down according to the given condition, 2x plus 5, 3x plus 5. That ratio means write in numerator denominator form, and that is 5 upon 7. Now you can solve this. This is an equation. Okay. So cross multiply here. See, 7 into 2x is 14x and 7 into 5 is 35. So 14x plus 35 here we will get. Similarly, if we cross multiply here, 9 fives are 15. So, I'm sorry, 3 fives are 15. So, 15x we will get here and 5 fives are 25. So, the equation will be like this. See, 14x plus 35 is equal to 15x plus 25. Then, we can change the side. This 14x we can take this side and 25 we can take this side. So, what we will get? 14x, when we shift this side it will become minus. So 15x minus 14x is simply x, and 35 minus 25 is 10. So x is equal to 10. If we solve it, we will get x is equal to 10. Okay, but we don't have to stop here. What we have to find out? Number of mango and chiku trees. So take help of this second statement, that therefore the number of mango trees, how we are going to get? 2 into x, that is 10. So 2 into 10, that is 20. And similarly, the number of chiku trees we will get as 3 into 10, that is 30. So we can say that the number of mango trees in the orchard are 20 and number of chiku trees are 30. Okay, now let's go ahead towards the next one. Example number 5. It is cancelled. It is under the reduced syllabus. Just above practice set 4.1 you will find this solved example, which is under the reduced syllabus. So take a note of this. So students, I hope you must have understood the concept of ratio and proportion. All of you please go through all the solved examples because you know that they are equally important. Try to understand them. If you face any problem, you can ask me. I'm there to help you. Now, today I'm stopping here, students. In the next lecture, we will start with practice set 4.1. And to understand practice set 4.1, you try to understand the properties of ratio very well. Read them once again. That is why I told you to write them down in your notebook. If you have not written in notebook, you can see them in the textbook. You can read them and try to understand them. Okay. Also, you try to understand all the conversions, how to convert kilometers into meters, meters into centimeters, or centimeters into millimeters. That conversion you must know. So go through them. Also, hours into minutes, minutes into seconds. Then for distance you are doing, for time you are doing, similarly you have to do for weight also. Kgs into grams. Okay. And more conversions are there, like in computer now you have the conversion of megabytes into kilobytes and so on. So all these conversions which you have studied in lower standard, that also you can just revise once again so that you will understand the things better. Okay, because I told you that here whenever we want to compare two numbers in the form of ratio, their units should be same. So you must understand the meaning of that and you must know all the conversions. Then similarly you can do about the number of days in the year, then number of days in the week you can do, or number of months in the year. All these conversions you have to know. Okay, so students, today I'm stopping here. We will meet in next lecture. Till that, you stay home, stay safe, take care of yourself. Thank you, students.